Hi, welcome to Tuesday with Tammy. And today I have Judi Ronco.
Hi.
Hi, Judi. Judi's an author of a new book called Journey Across Smiles.
Journey Across the Smiles. Yep, that's it.
Yeah. So it just went on Amazon. Is that right? You just did.
Yeah, it just went live on Sunday the 28th, and it's maintained first number one new release in 4 categories for the whole first week. So it's been pretty exciting.
That's so exciting. Yeah. Wow. So, Judi, tell my listeners a bit about you, what you did prior, what inspired this trip that led up to the writing of your book.
Well, I retired from teaching special ed in 2010, and I up and moved 2,000 miles across the country to New Mexico, where I lived for 4 years. And one of the things I did while I was there that kind of prompted this journey was I worked in a boutique where I got to speak with people from all over the world, and they're traveling. So I thought, wouldn't that be a fun thing to do? So, I looked into it and found out that, I could afford to to buy a vehicle that I could use as my home and just kind of let go of things back in New Mexico. So I sold everything and went on the road. I thought I was going to be looking for national parks and waterfalls. And as it turns out, it kind of evolved into this incredible experience of meeting strangers and talking to them about happy things in their lives or things that they experienced where they transformed their thinking from, feeling kind of stuck about the certain situation to, finding the joy in it or finding the nugget in it. And it just it just exploded, and it was just so much fun. I couldn't believe how easy it was for strangers to just up and tell me their stories. And some of them I solicited the information from, and some were more willing than others, but all of them were great. And so after 3 years of being back on the land again, after I traveled for almost 4 years, I thought, what, this would be a really fun book to write. So that's what I did. I spent the last 7 months, writing the book and pulling up all my stories. Well, the stories actually were called Bright Spots on my travel blog. And, of course, I did all the usual stuff on a travel blog, where I went and what I saw and what I did. And then every time I met somebody who was willing to share a great story with me, I asked them if it was okay if I reported that on my, blog. And I called all those stories bright spots,
I
you
like
know.
that.
Yeah, so it was fun. They loved it. I loved it. I got a lot out of it. They got a lot out of it. And I learned so much about me and them and us as, as people. I don't know. It's just something that I'm going to treasure all my life.
A sharing. And it's probably helps to be friendly, You have a good personality.
Well, I like people, and I've always, been able to talk to people, and I have no problem going up to a stranger. Well, not these days, but but usually going up to somebody, and I'm a pretty good energy reader, if you will. I mean, I can kind of tell if somebody is open or willing or, interested in communicating with another stranger. And all those strangers kind of became part of a family for me, after a while, after I traveled. It was,
Yes.
it was great.
Sounds fun, like a great adventure. You don't know where it's going to lead, but it's like, that first step, a journey. It's part of the journey. It's not the destination, it's the journey.
Oh yeah, and like you said, I didn't know who I was going to meet or what I was going to see or what I was going to do. I did very little planning for the journey. I mean, building up to the trip, to the adventure across the country took a lot of preparations and a lot of planning. But once I did that, it was like just from one stop to the next, and I just tried to travel weather friendly for the most part. And then it's like I'll see whatever I see and I'll meet whoever I meet, and it just turned out to be a delightful experience.
it's sweet, because you're a mutual friend and our friend Marie,
Right.
and all three of us kind of went on adventures around maybe the same time or different times, but around that era before COVID.
Right, right.
Guess we're blessed and lucky, whatever you want to call it, or just made the right decision.
Oh yeah, the timing was good. The timing was good. I was on the adventure before COVID, and then during COVID, I had the time to write the book. So, brought back so many memories, and I could just really feel those people again, and it was just, I don't know, very special.
Yeah. So I always ask, your spirit animal, a book you recommend, besides your own, of course, or or a saying you like to say.
Okay, well, let's see. A book, a spirit animal. I have several, but one of my favorites I call Tumbleweed. It's a chimpanzee.
Ah,
And I have a brown bear, a golden eagle, that are three of my top ones, I guess. They're three of my most favorite ones that I communicate with. And a book that I really have loved. I'm a really tough case when it comes to holding my interest in a book, believe it or not. I mean, I've read many I've not read all the way through because it just, I don't know, I'm just very particular. But one book that I've read is called The Teaching of Little Crow. It's The Journey of the Soul by Angelina Hart.
oh,
And it's got like 400 or 500 pages. And I just couldn't put it down. So it's my favorite because it held my attention long enough, and captured my interest. I was just so involved in it. I was like part of it. And I'm hoping that my book allows people to feel like they're on the journey with me, like I did when I was reading that book. Yeah.
I love that. Now you got me inspired to read that book too, as well
Well, read
as
my
yours.
books. And
Oh, so
yeah,
is this one of your birthday dreams? And did it come true? Wishes come true? If so, tell us about it, or tell us about a birthday dream that did come true.
a birthday dream. Well, the traveling across the country was something that was on what they call the bucket list. That was something that I've always wanted to do from way back when. I always had a dream of that on the back burner. And, wasn't until I retired and my kids were grown and that I was able to actually make that happen. I didn't think it was going to be able to because I didn't know how I was going to afford to maintain a home that was on the ground and a home that was on wheels. So I just said, forget it. And I had no idea if I was going to like it or whether I was going to enjoy it. But I just sold everything, including my car, bought my Van Gogh, which is a conversation piece in itself. I mean, that whole, because it had on the back of my book, let me see if I can show it to you. Hold on a second. You'll be able to see a picture
Hmm.
of the van. It was covered in
Yes.
quotes on both sides, and that was half the fun of the traveling because people would stop me and give me a thumbs up or beat their horn, or some people would stop. Like I was at a toll booth one time, and a woman got out and said, "Oh, can I take pictures?" I said, "Sure." So right in the middle of the toll booth, she got out and was taking pictures of the quotes on the
I
van.
love it. I love it.
So that was a really delightful part of the journey as well. You know.
That's brave of her. It's nice because it breaks up the routine, right? With
Yeah.
something inspiring, awe-inspiring.
And fortunately, there weren't too many cars in line behind me, and they didn't seem to mind because they saw the van too, so they knew what she was doing.
Oh gosh, and you have some amazing stories, I'm sure. I'm curious who one of your role models are. It could be when you were a little girl or teenager or presently.
I don't know. I don't know that I have a role model. Well, okay. There's one person that I kind of admire, and that's Elizabeth Gilbert. She's the one who wrote Eat, Pray, Love,
Hmm.
because I heard her speak 20 years ago at a
Wow.
huge gathering before she wrote any book or did any traveling or anything. And she was just such a real person, just someone you could really resonate with, you could relate to. And, and I just appreciate, you know, where she was and where she evolved to.
Mm-hmm.
And to see her progression, her transformation, because she was a different person before. Well, not a different person, but you could see the growth, you could see the
Mm-hmm.
change in her between the book of Eat, Pray, Love, and then also the second book that she wrote that I loved, and I can't think of the title of it right now. I don't know. I can think
Yeah.
of it, but
Yeah.
it's also a really great book.
It sounds like she kind of inspired you too.
Yeah, yeah, she
Just
really
like
did.
you inspire other people now.
I hope so. I've gotten really good reviews and a lot of really good feedback, from some people that I know. And I'm starting to get information and feedback from people I don't know, which is even more exciting because, they don't really know me. And
Yeah.
some of the reviews that are coming in are from people that by word of mouth have either just found my book or was a friend of a friend of a friend or something.
Yeah.
And
And,
that's the neat part, knowing that it's getting out there and that it is impacting people and people are receiving it very favorably and just and enjoying it and getting a lot out of it. And that was my whole
mhm.
purpose for writing the book to begin with. So that
As
makes
you're ta- as you're speaking and talking, I'm thinking like even your grandchildren. I'm sure you have grandchildren, and
Mhm.
that'll inspire them someday, perhaps.
Well, my grandson is in the book several times because he was, because not only do I have the stories of all the strangers that I met, but the whole process in the couple of years or a year before I went on this adventure, I have that in the book. So I was learning and showing my own transformation, through the book. And then after all the stories of the strangers, I have a wrap up where I am now and how I ended up deciding to stop traveling and kind of land again. But in the
Hmm.
middle of all that, he spent an entire summer with me in New Mexico. So we traveled across the country for nine
Oh,
days in the van together. And he was 10, 9. He was 9.
yeah. What a great gift. Yeah.
Yeah, it was such a great summer. And so he's in there. So he's thrilled. He's already read the book because he likes the fact that he's in it. So he feels like he's very, very special, even more than
Of
the book.
course.
He's in,
That's really nice.
he's so funny. But but
Sweet.
yeah, he loves it.
I love that too. That's really nice. So I love also how you allowed love back in your life. If you want to tell a quick story.
Yeah, well, we don't want to tell all the story, but at age 65 or 64, because it's been 2 years now, 64, I very unexpectedly met a wonderful man while I was walking on the beach where I had just moved in Delaware. And, a year later, we got married. And this February, we were married for a whole year, and all is well with the world.
Congratulations. See?
Yeah, you just gotta keep a happy face, know that each day can bring you unimaginable possibilities and just be open. That's it. That's the whole thing. Just be open to finding the joy or the nectar, I call it, in any situation, you know.
It's when you least expect it too, a lot of times, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. And even the people I met along my travels, sometimes I went looking for them, but most of the time
Yeah.
they just appeared, in a in an ice cream line, in a laundromat. That's one of my favorite stories, by the way. It's the first story in the book. It's called Love at the Laundromat. And it's delightful. I'm not going to tell you about it, but it was great. It's a good story. Um, yeah, so I would just find people, and restaurants, gas lines.
Yeah, just real people. I love that. Just out on their own adventures in life.
And one of the things that I discovered was that we are all so much more alike than we are different.
Very true.
You know,
Hmm.
we have the same kind of dreams, the same kind of struggles, the same things to overcome, the same things that make us laugh, and the same things that make us cry. And it just added a connectivity or a connection to
Hmm.
like all of humankind, if you will. I mean, it seems a little cliche, but it's true.
It's true.
You know, when you open yourself up to other people, they open themselves up to you, and there's this camaraderie that just begins to happen. That's a boost in your spirit right there, you know.
It just begins with a smile.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I love that. They say the world's so big, but actually it's kind of small. I don't know. Like a cliche. Oh, so if you want to share one story out of the book, I mean, even a tiny part of it, I mean, it's
Okay,
up to you.
I'll give you a little appetizer. Well, there's stories in there that involve really monumental transformations and with people, or just large experiences, let's say. And then there's stories that are just what may seem like little teeny tiny experiences, but were big for the people. So I'm going to tell you one of those.
Okay.
There was a woman that I met that took care of the horses at Niobrara State Park in Nebraska. And I was, just walking around. I kind of happened upon the stables, and I got to talking with her. And as it turns out, I said to her, I says, "You just seem like somebody that would have something good to tell me about your life." I said, "What you got?" And she says, "Oh my gosh," she goes, "I have two little boys. One of them is 6, and one of them was like a little 14 months maybe. And her older son lost his first tooth on the same day that her little toddler got his first tooth.
Okay.
And not only was that amazing, but it was the same tooth. So she just thought that was just such a delightful thing in her life. And now, whenever she's tired or working hard or whatever, she just thinks about that moment, you know, and it just brings her back. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what we all need to do. If we're in a space where we feel stuck or negative or doubtful or whatever, if we can just drum up one memory or one thought or one dream that hasn't even
Mm-hmm.
happened yet, or
Mm-hmm.
even something great in the moment, it can transform our whole outlook, and like one example is that when I got a flat tire, I didn't have AAA, but I had enough strength to change the tire myself. It wasn't raining, it wasn't dark. So, even though you got a flat tire, which
Mhm.
nobody wants a flat tire, there are things about it, if you let yourself look and be open to it, that you can be grateful for. And gratitude's a real game changer as far as I'm concerned. Just if you can be grateful for what is going on right now in some way, no matter how tiny, it'll shift you, and it's just worth it. Yeah.
That's the key, gratitude. I love it. And always having something to look forward to, I think is important. Or
Oh,
just like you
yeah.
said, you wake up and you just stay optimistic, go with the flow.
You can wake up and before your eyes even open, think of 10 things that you're grateful for. Your pillow,
Hmm.
your cover,
Exactly.
the sun
Exactly.
peeking in the blinds, you know. There's an endless opportunity to find things to be grateful for. And, if we can remember that, we don't ever have to feel yucky.
So true. So true. So, any last words of wise wisdom advice for other people?
Aside from gratitude being a game changer, let's say, yeah, blessed be the flexible because they don't get bent out of shape.
I like that one.
I saw that in the office. I used to be a special ed teacher, and that was
Uh-huh.
happening in the office of one of the schools that I taught at. Blessed be the flexible, for they shall not get bent out of shape.
It's
Be
like
fluid, just kind of be fluid.
be fluid. That's good. Like it. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your time.
Oh, no problem. And like I said, the book is live for ebook and a paperback. The
Hmm.
ebook is will still be 99 cents until April 12th, and then it's going up to $1.99, which is still a great deal. The paperback's $9.99, and probably in the next 3 weeks, the audiobook will be available.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And I'll go ahead if we, have a website or an email or just where to find it. I'll go ahead and post all that as well at the end in the notes.
Okay, the website is just judyronco.com, and it's
Easy.
with an I.
Judi with an I.
Yeah, so yeah, make sure you get that I in there because otherwise they'll get lost.
Yeah, yeah.
Our website really provides a lot of wonderful, free, inspirational things. Hopefully,
Messages.
they'll buy the book and sign up on the website, but you can just sign up on the website, and
Hmm.
still get a lot of really great things.
Great. Well, thanks again.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
It's
Thank you
really
so
nice
much.
to see you again, too.
Oh, you too. It's been too long.
Okay, bye, Judi.
Bye bye.